It's 8:45 on Saturday morning. I was supposed to get a radical recap video in. There weren't going to be any stories to talk about, really. I was going to be ranting about a couple of subjects. But now, the recap is not going to happen because I'm replacing it with a much less fun video because I don't have the urge to do anything that I could consider somewhat fun right now because I'm disgusted. Because this is something that has happened so many times before, and today is just the day that I'm tired of seeing these stories, and it's time to talk. Professional wrestler in Japan, someone that I have seen through stardom. Hana Kimura, at 22 years old, has passed away as of this morning. It is assumed that she took her own life because she has made several self-harm tweets, very violent-looking tweets, in the past 24 hours. And it is likely due to her participation on a show, a reality show, called Terrace House. So likely this is another case in a myriad of cases of people, big and small, who have taken their lives due to online harassment on social media. And it's time, like I said, to talk. This is not going to be a fun video. This is not going to be a very insightful video. This is going to be a very vitriolic rant. There are a lot of people online that I don't like, that I even hate in some cases. There are a lot of people out there that I have criticized. There are a lot of people out there, hell, even in the last couple of videos you guys have seen where I go after an author of an article, I'll call them an asshole, call them a bitch, call them a piece of shit, say fuck you, tell them to fuck off. What you will notice, though, is that I don't attack them personally, that I don't go out of my way on social media to spend hours upon hours threatening them with violence, with death, with all these vitriolic things that I see on a regular basis on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube comments, Instagram. You get it. Every day, the shit that I see is disgusting. It's gross. It's uncalled for. I don't care how much you hate a person. When you do not know this person, the kind of verbiage, the kind of threats that I see make no sense to be coming out of your fucking mouth. You don't know a goddamn thing about these people. You see what you see on a fucking screen. You've never met these people personally. You don't know a damn thing about what they're like in their actual life and not in their personality on the internet. And there are some people that are hateful pieces of shit too, but that does not mean that the treatment that they have been given is deserved. Not to mention that they can even handle it. The people who bullied Hana Kimura thought she deserved it because of the character that she was on this reality show. And they must have thought that she could handle this. Well, it's clear now she couldn't. And not only could she not handle it, it wasn't even worth staying alive anymore. That's how bad she wanted out. Now, there could be other things alongside that. And for all we know, maybe something else has completely happened, but the evidence seems to tell us what has happened. And it just brings up a case, a pandemic, if you would say, a fucking chaos of just endless parades of harassment online. Like I said, my hands aren't clean, but I can at least look at what I've said and at least say, okay, at least I'm not going out of my way to try to ruin this person's life. I'll criticize what they have to say. I'll call them a piece of shit. But at no point am I using bigoted language. At no point am I calling for their careers to be over, for their life to be over, to be spending so much time going through everything that they say, using it against them, and then spending every waking moment of my life attacking them until they disappear, whether it means never be showing their face on social media or, quite frankly, disappearing literally. How do you live with yourself? You, the person who goes through the comment section and attack them every single video they do. You spend every waking moment on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, constantly calling for their head. How dare you go out of your way, instead of doing something constructive, spending so much time attacking a person? I'm not talking saying you're a piece of shit. I'm not talking saying that, hey, this video is bullshit, or this tweet that this said is bullshit. I'm talking rape threats, death threats, calling for their job, telling them kill yourself, all that stuff. Stop. What is the point? Why do you think that that's okay? These aren't jokes. Because a joke would be funny. Telling someone to kill themselves. Telling someone you're going to rape them. Telling someone that they shouldn't be on the platform that they're on. And calling for them to be removed from that platform. All of these things. Basically coming down to trying to ruin their daily life. It's not funny. And in almost every single case, it's not deserved. You may disagree with somebody, you may not like them, you may even hate them. But this isn't the path. Hell, I was about to make a video, and I probably still will, about my journey from being an SJW to being an anti-SJW to now being where I stand kind of in the middle. And it was going to include another video of me going back and watching the first Tropes versus Women in Video Games video that Anita Sarkeesian ever put out. Because that one, when I first watched it, I agreed with. And then over time, the stuff that she released, hated. So I wanted to go back and see how I felt on it today. And the core of all of this that I'm telling you right now is because Anita Sarkeesian is one of the people on the internet that I despise more than anybody. And yet I don't go out of my way to tweet her directly, to go through her YouTube comments and spend every waking minute calling for her job, calling for her life, threatening her, and all of these things that I just talked about earlier. I don't do that. I disagree with her. I made a video at one point years back, going through one of her videos and just criticizing what she said. At no point do I want this woman dead. At no point do I want this woman raped. At no point do I want this woman assaulted. And at no point do I want this woman's life to be put in jeopardy, whether it's literally through violence or just through her financial status. I don't want that for anybody. She's not someone who committed mass genocide. She's not someone who raped a child. She's not someone who raped a person. She's just someone with opinions that I don't like. In the case of Hana Kimura, she's a person that people just didn't like, that thought was a piece of shit. But that doesn't call the kind of stuff. It doesn't call for the kind of shit that she obviously got. You know, I'd like to think that if it ever gets to a point where I have somewhat of a following, that I could get messages like this too, and I'd like to think that I can handle that stuff. But no one knows. And I don't think anything that comes out of my mouth is going to be worth a death threat, a rape threat, calling for my job to be destroyed, calling for my life to be destroyed. I don't think anything that will ever come out of my mouth would be deserving of that, because I'm not saying anything that bad. I'm not saying anything that would be worth it. I'm not going out there calling for somebody's life. I'm not going out there calling for someone to be destroyed. I'll talk about this in that video that I just mentioned about my journey between the left, the anti-left, and now the center. But I'll say this one thing. The reason that I got away from the anti-SJW side is because I saw what they were. They had become a group of people that became the exact thing that they hated. Difference was is they were attacking the people they hated with the same rhetoric that the people that they hate used against them. You go through a thread, and I subscribe to both sides of this. I subscribe to two subreddits that I feel are literally the polar opposite of each other. There's Gamergazi and there's Kotaku in Action. And there are stuff that gets posted on both of those subreddits that I can have a semblance of agreement with. But what both of them do is use language that are just absolutely disgusting. And what they do is hope that someone disappears. Not everybody, but some. I know that's almost every place, but those two places in particular, at least from my experience, are worst of the bunch. How many people need to die? How many people need to take their own lives before we finally start to wake the fuck up and realize that what we're doing is going too far, or has gone too far? And I know the answer to that question. The answer is none. There are not enough lives that will be lost for us to get over this. Because there are always going to be people that think that they're above that. They think that they can do whatever they want without consequence. If you are one of those people, what you're doing is not the right thing. Doesn't matter how much you hate a person. What you're doing is not right. I'm not calling for you to be removed from social media, but what I'm asking for is for you to take a long, hard look at what you're doing and justify that. The things that you say, read them as if they were being talked about your best friend, your parents, your significant other, or even better, yourself. What would you think about that? Would you like that if that happened to somebody that you knew and loved? Would you like that if it happened to you? The kind of stuff that you post to those people. Would you appreciate that? Or would it make you upset? It would make you upset. So why would you do it to somebody else? Why does that make it okay? I'm not saying that you can't criticize people. I'm not saying that you can't call them an asshole. But the stuff that I see on a regular basis, and you know exactly what stuff I'm talking about, it needs to stop. We've lost enough people. And I'm not even talking famous names. Hana Kimura is just one of many. And this is just the one that made me finally make this video. How many more does it take? I know that we'll never get rid of the people who do this, but maybe you can be one of the ones who do stop. It's not that hard.